All right, here's a powerful speech that taps into David Goggins' mindset and wraps around the idea of stop, being kind to everyone in the sense of not sugarcoating the truth, not enabling weakness, and not coddling yourself or others when it's time to level you pee. You wake up tired and you say, I deserve to sleep in. You skip the gym and say, I've been working hard lately. You eat garbage and say, that's just one time. Everyone wants to be seen as a kind person. It's human nature. We want to be liked. We want people to feel good when they're around us. So we nod, we smile, and we tell people what they want to hear instead of what they need to hear. But here's the harsh reality: kindness without truth is just weakness dressed up to look nice. It's fake. It's easy. It's a mask that helps you avoid discomfort, avoid conflict, and avoid being the one who delivers the hard truth. You think you're helping people by being nice. You think you're being supportive. But if someone you care about is making excuses, destroying their health, quitting on themselves, or running from their potential, and you're standing there saying, it's okay, you're doing your best, you're not helping. You're enabling. You're keeping them stuck. And why? Because it's easier for you. It keeps the conversation soft. It keeps the relationship comfortable. You tell yourself you're being kind, but really you're avoiding the guilt of being honest. That's not kindness. That's cowardice. It's the same thing when you do it to yourself. You look in the mirror and you know you're not doing what you said you do. You skip the workout. You let your dad slide. You gave up on that goal again. And instead of calling yourself out, you let yourself off the hook. You say, I've been stressed or I needed a break. And maybe that feels good for a minute. Maybe it feels like self-love. But that's not self-love. That's self-sabotage in disguise. You're using fake kindness to protect your feelings instead of facing the truth and doing the hard work. We live in a world that praises comfort over truth. Everyone's so damn worried about offending someone. They'd rather light it to their face than tell them something that could actually change their life. And think about that. We've gotten so soft that honesty is now seen as aggression. But truth isn't cruel. It's necessary. It's a lifeline. It's what forces us to confront the gap between who we are and who we could be. Without that, you'll stay exactly where you are comfortable, average, and slowly dying inside. If someone's spiraling and you stay silent because you don't want to hurt their feelings, you're part of the problem. If you see potential in someone and you don't challenge them to rise to it, you're holding them back. And if you look at your own reflection and keep lying about what you're capable of, you'll never become the person you were born to be. Real kindness doesn't always feel good in the moment. Sometimes it's the slap in the face that wakes someone up. Sometimes it's the hard truth that breaks their illusion and helps them grow. That's love. That's respect. That's what real support looks like. So stop watering down your words. Stop tiptoeing around the truth. If you care about someone, tell them the truth even when it's hard. And if you respect yourself, hold yourself to a higher standard. Stop making excuses. Stop coddling yourself. Stop mistaking comfort for care. Because the only thing worse than being too hard is being too soft when it matters most. You don't get stronger by being lied to. You get stronger by being told the truth and acting on it. Kindness without truth builds weakness. But truth, even when it stings, builds warriors. Let's get one thing straight: comfort is the enemy. It might feel good, but it doesn't make you better. It doesn't make you stronger. It doesn't move your life forward. It keeps you soft, slow, and stuck. Comfort is where dreams go to die. Everybody wants to be great until it's time to suffer. Until it's time to show up early, stay late, do the work no one sees, and grind when nobody's cheering. The second things get uncomfortable. Most people bail. They look for the easy way out, for the shortcut, for the excuse that lets them off the hook. That's comfort talking. That's the seductive little voice in your head saying, take it easy, you've done enough. You deserve a break. And the truth is, sometimes that voice isn't lying. Maybe you have done something. But the real question is, have you done everything you're capable of? The answer is almost always no. We live in a society that worships comfort. Everything is about making life easier, more convenient, more comfortable. Fast food, same-day shipping, instant gratification, everything is built around removing friction. But here's the problem. Friction is where the fire gets lit. When things are hard, that's where you learn. That's where you grow. That's where the gap between who you are and who you could be starts to close. Growth only happens when you're under pressure. It happens when you're cold, tired, hungry, sore, overwhelmed, and keep going anyway. When you stop negotiating with the pain and start embracing it. When you get comfortable being uncomfortable, that's where the next level lives. And most people will never get there because they're too busy chasing comfort instead of chasing their potential. If you want to do something big, if you want to build something that matters, whether it's your body, your business, your mindset, your life, you better get ready to suffer. You better get used to the grind because greatness lies on the other side of that discomfort. There's no shortcut, no hack, no cheat code, just hard reps, hard choices, and showing up when every part of you wants to quit. Think about this. When's the last time you really pushed yourself? Not just went through the motions, not just did the minimum, but truly tested your limits. Most people can't answer that because they haven't gone there. They've trained themselves to avoid the edge. But the edge is where you find out what you're made of. The edge is where you separate the real from the fake, the discipline from the weak, the savage from the soft. And it's not just physical. This is about mental toughness, emotional endurance, spiritual resilience. Comfort doesn't build any of those things. Struggle does. Discipline does. Consistency when it's boring, effort when it hurts. Focus when you're distracted, that's what makes you dangerous. So if everything in your life is comfortable, it's time to ask yourself, what am I avoiding? What pain am I hiding from? What hard thing have I been putting off? That's your growth zone. That's the call you need to answer. Because every time you choose comfort over challenge, you make a silent agreement to stay the same. And staying the same is the most dangerous thing you can do if you know you're meant for more. Comfort is the enemy of evolution. It whispers lies to keep you small. And if you keep listening, you'll wake up one day full of regret, wondering what could have been if you just leaned into the pain instead of backing away from it. So no, comfort doesn't care about your potential. But discomfort, that's where the truth lies. That's where the fire gets started. That's where greatness is forged. You've got two choices in this life: seek approval or hold yourself accountable. You can't chase both. Most people don't even realize which one they're choosing. They just fall into the trap. They spend their time trying to fit in, to say the right things and do the right things so nobody gets uncomfortable. They want validation. They want the pat on the back. They want to be told they're doing great, even when deep down they know they're cutting corners. That's the problem with chasing approval. It feels good, but it makes you weak. It's short-term comfort, long-term regret. Because while everyone is telling you what you want to hear, no one is telling you what you need to hear. And even worse, you're not telling yourself the truth either. Approval is addictive. Once you start needing it, you shape your life around it. You start performing instead of progressing. You start curating your life to look good on the outside while everything on the inside is falling apart. You don't train hard unless someone's watching. You don't work hard unless someone's clapping. And when the applause stops. So to you, that's not strength. That's dependence. And the brutal truth is, no one's coming to save you. No one's going to do the work for you. No one's going to care about your goals like you do. That's why approval will always fail you. In the end, it's borrowed fuel, and eventually it runs out. Accountability, though, that's different. That's internal. That's when you show up because you said you would. That's when you grind not for recognition, but because your standard won't allow anything less. It's doing the hard thing every damn day, even when no one's looking, especially when no one's looking. The mirror doesn't lie. You know when you're slacking. You know when you're giving 70% and calling it 100. Accountability means calling yourself out on that. It means holding yourself to a level of honesty and effort that most people can't handle. That's why it's rare. That's why it builds monsters. Look, being liked feels good, but being respected lasts. Respect is built through consistency, through honesty, through discipline. People might not always like someone who tells the truth, who challenges them, who refuses to let them settle, but deep down, they'll respect it. And more importantly, you'll respect yourself. You want to change your life? Stop performing for approval and start performing for the person in the mirror. Be your own judge. Be your own critic. Hold yourself to a level where if someone gave you an excuse, you laugh in their face because you know that's not how you operate. That's not how savages operate. You don't need more cheerleaders. You need more truth. You need to be the one who raises your hand when you fail and says, that's on me. And then you get back to work. No crying. No blaming. No seeking sympathy. Just ownership. That's power. That's freedom. Approval is external. It comes and goes. It's based on other people's opinions, and guess what? Opinions change, people flake, crowds move on. If that's your foundation, you're building your life on sand. But accountability, that's internal steel. That's you against you. That's real. So stop chasing applause. Start chasing results. Stop trying to be light. Start trying to be unshakable. Because when you live with accountability, you don't just earn respect, you become unstoppable. You've got to stop coddling yourself. Seriously, stop babying your own weakness. You say you want more out of life. You want to be stronger, fitter, more focused, more disciplined. But the second things get hard, you start talking to yourself like you're made of glass. You give yourself a way out. You start justifying the bare minimum. And here's the thing, every time you do that, you kill a little piece of who you could have been. Coddling yourself looks like self-care, but it's not. It looks like self-love, but it's not. Telling yourself it's okay, I'll do it tomorrow when you know damn well you could have done it today, that's not love. That's weakness. And the more you repeat that cycle, the more you train your mind to expect comfort, to expect breaks, to expect an escape anytime things stop feeling easy. That's why you stay stuck. That's why nothing changes. You've built a lifestyle around protecting your feelings instead of attacking your potential. You've wrapped yourself in excuses like a warm blanket and called it balance. But let's be honest, how long you're going to keep letting yourself off the hook? How long are you going to keep lying to yourself and calling it compassion? The most dangerous lies are the ones we tell ourselves, the soft lies. The subtle ones, like I deserve to rest. Sure, sometimes you do, but did you earn it? I've been going through a lot lately. Who is it? You think champions don't have pain? You think savage minds don't carry trauma, stress, anxiety? They do, but they don't use it as an excuse to stop. They use it as fuel. There's a difference between real recovery and just being lazy in disguise. And if you're being honest, you know the difference. Deep down, you know when you're hiding. You know when you're making things easier than they need to be. You know when you're skipping reps in the gym, skipping steps into your process, avoiding the hard work in the name of being kind to yourself. But that kind of kindness is fake. It doesn't help you. It weakens you. Every time you choose easy, you build a weaker version of yourself. You're either getting sharper or you're getting softer. There's no in between. And the world isn't going to adjust itself to your softness. Life isn't going to lower its standards because you decided to play small today. So what happens when the storm comes? When life hits hard, you fall apart because you've trained yourself to fold the second pressure shows up. If you really love yourself, you'll hold yourself accountable. You'll demand more. You'll stop looking for the exit when it's time to dig in. That's what real self-respect looks like. It's not bubble baths and motivational quotes. It's grit. It's sacrifice. It's doing what you said you do even when you don't feel like it. You think comfort builds confidence? It doesn't. Confidence comes from discipline, from knowing that when things get hard, you don't run, you show up. You fight, you keep going. And the only way to build that is to stop giving yourself these soft landings every time things get tough. Coddling might feel good today, but it kills you tomorrow. It kills your drive, your edge, your evolution. You want to be better. Then stop talking to yourself like a victim. Start holding yourself like a warrior. That's how you change. Be the kind of person who doesn't need a pep talk. Be the one who is the pep talk. Get real. Get raw. Get relentless. No more softness. No more pity parties. Time to level up. You don't build character by talking about it. You don't build resilience by reading motivational quotes or watching highlight reels. You build it in the trenches. You build it when life punches you in the face and you decide to get back up and swing harder. You build it when you lean into the pain instead of running from it. That's the truth nobody wants to hear. Everyone wants to feel good, but it's the struggle, the challenge, the resistance that forges who you are. Character doesn't come from comfort. It doesn't come from being coddled or protected. You think discipline shows up when things are going smooth? You think mental toughness gets built on a soft couch with perfect weather and no problems? Hell no. It gets built in the chaos. It gets built when you're tired, when you're stressed, when you've got every reason to quit and you still don't. That's where real growth happens. We live in a world that tries to protect people from hardship like it is some kind of disease. But challenge isn't the enemy. It's the teacher. Every setback, every failure, every moment of doubt, it's all trying to give you something. It's testing you. It's asking, who are you really? Not who you say you are. Not who you are when things are easy. Who you are when it all goes sideways. When you face adversity, you're being given the rarest opportunity in the world to earn real self-respect. You can't buy that. You can't fake it. You earn it by choosing not to break. And it doesn't matter how strong you look or how loud you talk. What matters is how you respond when the pressure's on, when it hurts, when nobody's watching and it's just you versus that voice in your head saying you're doing this. Every time you overcome, even in small ways, you stack a brick of grit, a brick of belief, a brick of unshakable identity. And over time, that's how character gets built, not overnight. Not with one big win, but with reps, with daily choices to show up, shut up, and do the damn work whether you feel like it or not. You want to be someone people respect. You want to be someone you respect. Start welcoming the hard stuff. Start hunting it down. Don't wait for life to test you, test yourself. Get uncomfortable on purpose. Take on things that scare you. Try things that might make you fail. Because even if you do fail, you learn. You sharpen. You evolve. And the person who walks out of that fire will never be the same as the one who walked in. Avoiding challenge might feel safe, but it makes you weak. It robs you of the very thing that gives life meaning, growth. And growth only comes from pressure, from pushing, from walking through the storm, not around it. When things get hard, don't look for the exit. Look for the lesson. Look for the edge you're about to gain. Look for the version of yourself you're about to become if you don't give up. Because every challenge is a chance to prove something to yourself. That you're tougher than you thought, stronger than you knew, and more capable than you ever believed. So stop avoiding the hard. Start chasing it. Because the challenges you fear today are the very things that will build the version of you that dominates tomorrow. Be grateful for the struggle. It's not here to destroy you. It's here to build you. Too many people waste their lives trying to be liked. They spend their days putting on a mask, watering themselves down, trimming off their edges just to fit into someone else's comfort zone. They smile when they want to scream. They agree when they want to disagree. They play small because they're afraid that being fully them might rub someone the wrong way. And for what? So people will clap, so people will approve, so people won't get uncomfortable. Let me tell you something, that's a prison. When your life is built around being liked, you become a slave to other people's opinions. You start living for acceptance instead of purpose. And every time you say yes, when you want to say no, every time you hold back your truth just to keep the peace, you chip away at your soul. You don't need a fan club. You need a spine. Being liked isn't the goal. Being real is. Being you, raw, unfiltered, honest, and unshakable. That's the mission. Because the truth is, not everyone's going to like you when you start living that way, and that's fine. That's good. You don't want to be accepted by everyone. Because if everyone likes you, it probably means you stand for nothing. You've said nothing bold. You've challenged nothing uncomfortable. You've done nothing that actually matters. People pleasers don't change the world. People pleasers don't break generational cycles. They don't lead. They don't dominate. They conform. They hide. They stay safe in the middle lane with the other scared drivers, hoping no one honks at them, and that's a slow death. That's how you wake up 10 years later, full of resentment, wondering who the hell you've become. You think the real ones out there, the warriors, the builders, the ones who actually move people, got there by being liked? No. They got there by being real. They got there by speaking up, standing tall, and refusing to apologize for their truth. Not everyone understood them. Not everyone agreed with them. But the ones who mattered respected them, because authenticity commands respect, even from your enemies. So the next time you feel that pull to shrink yourself, to censor your truth, to be who they want you to be, don't. That's not strength. That's fear. That's insecurity wrapped in fake humility. And if you give in to that enough times, you'll forget who you are. You'll forget what you believe. You'll forget how to trust your own voice. Stop filtering yourself for people who wouldn't bleed for you. Stop bending over backwards to keep the peace with people who wouldn't show up for you in a storm. Start honoring the one person who's going to be with you until your last breath. You. And that means living in alignment with what you value, not what's popular. It means saying what needs to be said, doing what needs to be done, and not giving a damn how it makes small minds feel. That kind of honesty, it's rare. That kind of realness, it's uncomfortable, but it's powerful. It draws the right people into your life and burns away the ones who were never really there for you in the first place. And that's what you want. You don't need everyone. You just need you. Locked in, disciplined, dialed all the way up to truth. Choose integrity. Choose the path that demands strength, not the one that gets you claps. Because when the noise fades and the lights go out, the only person you have to live with is the real one staring back at you in the mirror.